This video that I'm about to make may be one of the most important and serious videos I have possibly ever make or will ever make. So, if you don't know, the House, the neoliberal establishment just passed one of the most oppressive, awful election bills I have ever seen, that anybody's ever seen. And it passed today by the House. And quite frankly, this may be the most clear indication of what the Democrats are trying to do, the neoliberal establishment. So if you don't know, H.R. 1, the quote-unquote For the People Act of 2021, is an election reform bill that basically federalizes all elections. Now, if you don't know basic constitutional stuff, elections are done by statewide officials, not by the federal government. They're supposed to be done by states, not by what the federal government says. And the Heritage Foundation a couple weeks ago wrote up a good report on the bullcrap that is the H.R. 1 bill. Now again, I know this is the Heritage Foundation, they're cringe on immigration, but there's one thing the Heritage Foundation is actually good on. They actually are wanting election reform. They actually want voter ID. They want strict restrictions on election reform. And they're the only ones that actually track all the election fraud that happens. So, we gotta get into this video. This, quote-unquote, For the People Act. And we just gotta read part of this. Because, guys, you must stop this. And I'm gonna be working on something. The Jackson Project, hint, hint, will be working on something about this. Because this is bad. We need to stop this now. Alright, I don't think it's gonna pass the Senate realistically. Because, I mean, you read some of this stuff. Even people like Joe Manchin, Cinema, they're not gonna vote for this. Let's just go. So, again, this is made by the Heritage Foundation. They're cringe on stuff like immigration. But election reform, they're probably one of the best establishment foundations on election reform. They want election reform badly. Like, actual, like, universal voter ID. So you get the point. So, they actually detailed it pretty good. I did read the original bill, most of it. So they actually highlight pretty much all the main stuff. Seize the authority of the states to regulate voter registration in the voting process by forcing states to implement early voting, automatic voter registration, same-day registration, online voter registration, and no-fault absentee balloting. These three alone is bad. Alright, well, the last four are just awful. Completely awful. Early voting I'm fine with. You know, I'm fine with people like a week prior being like, you know, I don't think I'm going to be there on election day. I don't think I'm going to be able to make time for it. So I'm just going to vote 1 week prior just to make sure of it. That's perfectly fine, alright? But really automatic voter registration? Guys, no. The people that say, oh, well, most nations do it. No, most nations don't do it. And this is just an awful idea. Because it's like, well, hold on a second. You read on later in this bill, this is going to cause a lot of chaos when you read it carefully between the fine print. Same-day registration's a mess. I mean, they do it in Wisconsin, I believe Minnesota. Guys, this is awful. Like, you got these people that claim to be, you know, 18, they're actually 17 voting. It happened in Georgia. I don't believe they have same-day registration. But 17-year-olds voted because they claim to be 18. So same-day registration's awful, mostly. Now, I'm fine with, like, older boomers. They kind of, they didn't realize they were, like, not registered or something like that. Re-registering on election day. I'm fine with that. But these people are, like, 18, 19. No, you have plenty of time to do that. Online voter registration would cause a lot of just a mess of an election. Because who's to say that's you registering to vote? There's no proof of it. And no fault absentee balloting. That's awful. That pretty much says for any excuse whatsoever, you can send an absentee ballot. That's garbage. Make it easier to commit fraud and promote chaos at the polls through same-day registration. Yep, we got to that. Essentially, same-day registration causes a lot of chaos if it's like for everybody. Now, let's see here. They would have no time to verify the accuracy of voter registration information and the eligibility of an individual. Yep, they can't even verify if the person's real or not. And you just keep reading. Requires states to count ballots cast by voters outside of their assigned precincts. This is just messed up. So essentially, I could just go around, you know, Wisconsin. I could go to like 50 different precincts, dump off like 20 absentee ballots in each one. They're going to count it. They're not going to check for it. This is absurd. Mandate no-fault absentee ballots, which are the tool of choice for voter thieves. It would ban witness signature or notarization requirements for absentee ballots. What is this mess? Guys, this essentially is saying, oh, you have to, usually you would have somebody be like, hey, make sure this person's real and not some phony. Nope, you don't even need a witness to make sure you're real. Force states to accept absentee ballots received up to 10 days after election. You saw the chaos in Pennsylvania, Georgia, Michigan to an extent, Wisconsin, North Carolina. You saw the mess that happened in those states. And require states to allow vote harvesting. That's awful. Vote harvesting is a mess. It should be banned everywhere. You should be the one that turns it in. Prevent election officials from checking the eligibility and qualification of voters and removing ineligible voters. This is a dumb one. I mean, this defies, like, every common sense. So if some main person of precinct's like, okay, so we have these people that have been dead for, like, 20 years on our voter files, we should probably get rid of them. Nope, you can't. This is absurd. And they make it where it's this quote-unquote nonpartisan committee is the one that can decide it. Yeah, quote-unquote nonpartisan. Yeah, who's the one choosing who's going to be it? Let's keep looking. Hurt voter turnout through 15 days of mandated early voting. I'm for a week. Degrade the accuracy of voter registration by requiring states automatically register. That's awful. I mean, you look at automatically registering. That's chaos right there. Constitute a recipe for massive voter fraud by hackers and cyber criminals through online voter registration. Yeah, online voter registration is absolutely dumb. And also, here's the part where I'm going to tell people, like, this alone should tell people this is garbage. It would also require states to allow 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds to register. Think about that. 16 to 17-year-olds are allowed to register. Are required to actually register. But they don't even have to check if they're actual voter. This is a mess. Guys, this is a complete mess. Ban state voter ID laws by forcing states to allow individuals to vote without an ID. Yeah, and you only have to sign a statement. What are they going to check that? They said they're getting rid of signature checks. So I could just pretend I'm 30 different people in 30 different precincts right there. I may tilt an election for a state legislator. Violate this part right here, I'm not going to get into because, this is the part that, this is the part that YouTube I know would try to get me for. So, in a nutshell, you have no freedom of speech. We won't get into that. Expand regulation, government censorship of campaigns and political activity. Let's see here. Would impose legal and administrative compliance burdens. Blah, blah, blah. You get a point that it's just absurd. Reduce the number of election commission officials from 6 to 5. Allow a political party with 3 commissioner seats to control the commission. That's awful. The Federal Election Commission is supposed to be 6 for a reason. You don't want just one party just choosing everything. It's a mess. Complete and total just mess. Prohibit state election officials from participating in federal elections and impose numerous other ethics rules. They're unconstitutional. I mean, this is just absurd. Require states to restore the ability of felons to vote. No. I mean, I can see why people would probably support it. This is the worst part right here. Now, Virginia does a decent job at this, but transfer the right to draw congressional districts from state legislators to independent commissions, whose members are unaccountable to voters. So these bureaucrats that get nominated by some establishment shill control redistricting. And they mandate the inclusion of the alien population, including legal and illegal. This is a mess. This alone's unconstitutional, by the way. This alone would throw it out the window. So would the 16, 17-year-old thing. Authorize IRS to engage in partisan activity. I mean, this is a mess. The IRS would essentially have the full right to screw over campaigns. This is a mess. Limit access to federal courts for anyone challenging H.R. 1. The bill would prohibit the filing of any lawsuits challenging anywhere except in district. This is absurd. This is just... What? Guys, do people not see the rights? This is not going to just be for this law. This essentially is saying, oh, we're going to do this from every law from now on so you can't sue us. This is bad. Establish a commission to protect Democrat institutes that would threaten the independence of the judiciary. Democrat institutions are those that are essential to ensuring independent. This is a mess. The commission would be given the authority to compel judges to testify and guys, this is absurd. This is not what election's supposed to be. This is a mess. I mean, guys, this is the basic stuff they want. You look deeper into it, there's a bunch of crap they have in there and they don't have in it. It's just a mess. Guys, we have to stop this crap from happening. Now, I have a plan. We're working on something. But we have to stop this. If this passes, I recommend everybody sort of packing up and probably moving over to Poland, Hungary, Brazil, even the state of Florida, because they're going to fight like hell to stop this. This is unconstitutional. Every single part of this. It federalizes the elections. I know it's a heritage foundation, but they actually are good with election reform. They're the ones that actually go after this crap. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to read the full thing, go look it up yourself. And yes, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Just hit the like button down below and subscribe. Thanks for watching.